chordstylepiano.com, Learn Piano for Free video series. We're going to do a total of 150 videos and then a few extras talking about theory, note names, things like that. And this is me. My name is Jerry Baird. I have been teaching piano lessons for over a decade and playing in this chord style piano for most of that time. And I am going to be teaching you many of the techniques that I've learned over the years. Some of these things were sort of won by sweat and tears. I learned as an adult, and when I first started taking piano lessons I thought, oh, this won't be very hard, and it turned out to be much more difficult than I thought. Fortunately, I learned to play chord style piano early on, and I think that's what kept me going, because I realized that the sight reading was quite difficult for me and it was going to take many, many years to perfect, and it's still an ongoing process. But with the chords, I get to feel like I'm playing music I love. I think I sound more sophisticated when I play chord style piano, at least in most cases, and I also think it's easier. So that's one of the reasons I'm doing this video series, because I feel like I have knowledge that not many people have. I have a different approach to the piano than most people take, and for some, I've talked to a lot of people that have taken piano lessons as a kid and just didn't work out for a variety of reasons. Many of those people have expressed an interest in learning to play again. Some of them think it's too late, and I don't think that's true for any of us. And chord style piano for me is kind of the ideal compromise. It's still challenging. I won't be the person who stands up and says you can learn piano in 5 minutes. It's simply not true. But there's definitely something, for me at least, in my personality, my skill set, chord style piano feels a lot easier and a lot more enjoyable. So let's talk a little bit about the song "Oh When the Saints." That's what we're going to be working on today. Let me zoom a little bit so you can see this better. There's a couple of things about "Oh When the Saints" that make it a little bit unique and a little bit challenging. So one of them is this concept here. It's called a tie. And what that means, as long as the note is the same, so you can see here this is a G note, over here this is a G note, and they're connected by this little smiley face looking thing. Because they're the same, what it means is I'm going to play this note. It's a whole note, so I'll hold it for 4 counts, and then I'm going to not play this note. What's really happening is that this tie is a way to extend the amount of time that I'm holding a note across a measure. So here I'm going to hold for 4 counts. This is a quarter note. It gets 1 count. So the total that I'm going to hold this note is 5 counts. So let me just play the very beginning with the right hand, starting right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's how that works. The same thing happens here, 5 counts, and then down here we have a whole note connected to a half note. A half note gets 2 counts. So the whole note gets 4, the half note gets 2, for a total of 6. So if I play this part of the song, I'll start right here, and this will get 2 counts, this will get 2 counts, and then we have a hold of 6 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I go on with the rest of the song. Now that's not so bad, perhaps, but looking down here at the left hand, you can play this how you want to. The way it's written in this, and the way we talk about chord style piano, if there's no C at the beginning of a measure, generally you want to play it again, because if we played the C for the first time here and then we waited through all this time period before playing another chord, before hitting this G7, then these notes that we played initially would be pretty much not there. Probably about here they would run out entirely. So what we want to do is play them again and again and again in each measure, just like has been written here on the left-hand part. Now you don't have to read the bass clef to be able to play chord style piano. I've got it here for those that are able to read the bass clef, for those that are interested. I play both chord style and classical piano. I find the combination of the two gives me a lot of versatility. So in this case, the left hand is there just to kind of remind you we're going to be playing this chord periodically throughout the song and at the beginning of each measure, more specifically. So what that means is you're going to be holding this on your right hand for 5 counts. On your left hand you'll be holding this for 4 counts and then playing it again. So let me play the beginning with the left hand. I'll start from the beginning and just play a couple of measures. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the idea. It's a little bit challenging. If it doesn't work for you to have the right hand holding 5 counts, the left hand holding 4 counts, that's okay. You can play, just move this over and hold this for 5 counts and this for 5 counts and then play the C chord again right here when you start playing the melody again. The song starts on middle C with the first finger, and there is no hand movement in the right hand. So once you find the initial position, you'll be in the right spot. Same with the left hand, although we do stretch a little bit, so we're relatively in the same position, but we will be stretching down to reach for the B on the G7 chord. If we look at the chords, there's a C, a G7, and a new chord, F. Let me show you how to play the F chord. It's a C, an F, and an A. So if we look at that on our piano keyboard, here's middle C, just so you can kind of orient yourself. You can look at that. It's in the middle of treble on the bass clefs, and also it's highlighted in blue on the piano keyboard. So if I go down to the next C lower, that's the C where we're going to be playing our chords. So the C chord will look like this: C, E, and G, played with the pinky, finger 5, the middle finger, finger 3, and the thumb, which is finger 1. That's our C chord. This is our G7 chord, played with the pinky, number 5, the index finger, number 2, and the thumb, which is finger number 1. So that's our G7 chord. C chord, G7 chord, and now let's look at our new F chord. It starts with a C, and then an F, and an A. C, F, A. That's the F chord that we're going to be playing. C, G7, F. This note is played with the pinky, the 5th finger on the left hand. This note is played with the index finger, the 2nd finger on the left hand. And this note is played with the thumb, the 1st finger on the left hand. We're going to play them all together. There's other ways to do that. We could play one at a time, but we'll do that in future lessons. For now, we're just going to be playing all the notes at once. So let's look again at our music. The F chord only shows up one time in the song, right here. And then we have C, G7, and C again. So I'm going to play through the song. I'll play a basic version, and then I will play a little more fun version. And if you're new, just pay attention to the basic version. Don't get overwhelmed by the fun version. The only reason I'm playing it at this stage is that I want you to realize that this is a legitimate piano technique, that it's something you can do and not only enjoy your own music that you're making, but also other people will enjoy it. So I just want you to see what's possible. A lot of people that I've talked to, they think, well, I could do these shortcuts, and that's a nice little silly kind of technique, but if I really want to play piano, I'm going to pull out the Beethoven, I'm going to play the Moonlight Sonata, and I'm not going to mess around with this silly chord stuff. Well, all music ultimately is created with chords, and although some music works well in this style and some doesn't, and you'll learn that as we go, and as you practice, and as you learn and experiment for yourself. The same is true with sight reading. Some music works well for us because we have the ability to play it, because we enjoy it. Other music doesn't work well for us because it doesn't have the components that we need. And so the same is true in chord style piano. Works well for some songs, doesn't work well for others. but it's a real technique. Professionals use it, jazz musicians use it, improvisers use it, pop stars, rock stars, etc. It's a legitimate technique. So let's play through the basic version, and then I'll play a more fun version. Okay, so that's the basic version. Now, let's have a little bit of fun with this.